I'm starting the session. Listen. So in the previous session, very clearly we discussed how to install Oracle and how to create the user we have set. Today I'm continuing with creating user only. Listen. So we want to create the user. See. So to create the user, there are two types of users. What are those? One is common user, or you can say global user. Second one is local user. So how can we identify them? Common user will be prefixed with C hash hash. Okay, so we want to create the common user now. Okay. Okay. Please don't type anything in the chat box. After completion of class, I give time to you. Okay, if anyone is getting the problem in software installation, okay, so tomorrow I provide one contact number of mentors. Okay, don't bother about it, just listen. See, we want to create the user now with the name C hash hash Oracle 9 AM. So creating user. So what we are trying? Create user, give the username. So we are giving username as C hash hash Oracle 9 AM. Then write identified by, give the password. Identified by password. I'm giving password as Naresh IT. Okay, then write default table space. So our Oracle data will be stored in the table spaces. Every table space is one file. Okay, so default table space for users, we are the users. For users, there is one ready-made table space is there. The ready-made table space name is what? Users. So default table space users. Okay, quota. How much amount of memory that the user can use, that we have to specify here. If you write 5G means he can use maximum 5 GB memory. If you write 10 GB means he can use maximum 10 GB memory. Like this, we can allocate the quota. Unlimited means, okay, he has no limit. An unlimited amount of memory he can use. Quota unlimited. On which table space we are giving this permission? Users and users. So this is the way of creating user. Okay, SQL is memory based. You have to remember the syntax. You have to follow the syntax. Here we are not writing logics. We are not writing programs. You have to remember like this. You have to write like this. Create user. This is what? Username. C hash hash means common user. Identified by password we are giving as Naresh IT. Default table space name is users. Quota unlimited on users. So if you, who can create this user? Only database administrator. Only database administrator can create this one. So login as DBA. For DBA, what is the username? System. What is the password at the time of Oracle installation? Whatever the password you are giving, that is the password. In my system, Naresh. Okay. So next, for example, if you want to drop the user, today we are creating user. Tomorrow we want to drop that user. Okay. So for dropping the user, what we have to write? We write like this: drop user name. Drop user name. Then write cascade. Like this we write. Drop username cascade we write. So this is the syntax to drop the user. To drop the user, this is the syntax. Syntax to drop the user. Drop user username cascade. Okay, for example, we are writing like this: dropping drop user. Username is batch 9 a.m. Cascade. We are writing. Drop user username cascade. Drop user username cascade. If you write like this, that user will be dropped here. Okay. Next. See, changing password of user. Changing password of user. If you want to change the password, what we are write? Alter user username. Alter user username identified by new password. Identified by new password we have to enter. So this syntax we have to follow. SQL is memory based. We have to remember, we have to follow like this. Alter user username. We are giving username as / batch 9 a.m. Identified by whatever the new password you want, the new password we have to give. For example, I'm giving new password as Naresh. So previously Naresh IT was the password. We are changing as Naresh. So this is a way of changing the password. Okay, observe here. All these things I'm showing practically. Try to understand. See. So this is the query for creating the user. In the previous session also we discussed. Sometimes if we want to drop the user, we can drop the user by writing like this. And sometimes we want to change the password. If you want to change the password, we can change the password like this. Okay, let me show it practically. Observe here. See. So login as database administrator. For database administrator in my system, what is the username? System. Password is Naresh. Okay, so what it is telling? Connected to Oracle database. Observe now, who is the current user I want to check? Show user. So current user is system database administrator. So this database administrator only can create the user. Please tell me what we have tried to create the user. So sorry, already we created this user, right? The previous session we created. So let me drop that one. Drop user. Username is what? Batch 9 a.m. Okay, then write cascade. Okay, cascade. So maybe we created with Oracle 9 a.m. Maybe we created with Oracle 9 a.m. Maybe. Yes. We created with Oracle 9 a.m. maybe. Name. / Oracle 9 a.m. Yes. / Oracle 9 a.m. Not batch 9 a.m. / Oracle 9 a.m. Okay. So see here. So drop username cascade. Now this user is dropped. Now you cannot log in as batch 9 a.m. now because that user is dropped. Okay. Now fresh I'm explaining. Listen, I create the user. Okay. And I change the password of the user. Just observe. Okay. How to drop? Just now we have seen. Drop username cascade. Now I'm creating the user. What we have tried? Create user. Username is Oracle 9 a.m. / Oracle 9 a.m. Identified by Naresh. Default table space name is users quota unlimited on users. So this is a way of creating the user. What it is telling, observe here, user created. But this user has no permission for logging in and for creating the tables. After this, what we have to write? Grant, connect, comma, resource. Why connect permission? For logging in. Why resource permission? To create the table. So grant connect resource to whom? C # Oracle 9am. Okay. How can we change the password? As of now, what is the password here? Observe. Naresh. We want to change it to Naresh IT. We want to change the password. What we are trying? Alter username. C # Oracle 9am is the username. Identified by new password. Identified by what is the new password? Naresh IT. Naresh IT. Old password was Naresh. Okay. Now new password is Naresh IT. Observe here. What it is telling? User altered. Okay. Now I'm logging in now. Observe. C # Oracle 9am. Oracle 9am Naresh. Okay. Means what it is telling? Invalid username or password because this password is changed. Password changed as the Naresh IT. And remember one point, password is case sensitive. Password is case sensitive. So whenever you are creating the password, you are giving this password in uppercase means uppercase password only. Lowercase means lowercase password only. Password is case sensitive. Username is not case sensitive. Username you can give in capital letters, small letters, no problem. But password is case sensitive. Okay. So observe, connect C # Oracle 9am. So new password is what? Naresh IT. Connected or not? See, connected. Okay. So now you know the data types and how can we create the user. And one more point I want to tell. After installing the Oracle, at the time of installation of Oracle, you are giving one password, that is database administrator's password. If you forget the database administrator password, you cannot log in. So at that time, most of the students, what they do is they uninstall the Oracle, again they install the Oracle. Please don't do like that. That is time wasting process. Just to change database administrator's password. How to change database administrator's password? Observe here. Changing database administrator's password. For database administrator, what is the username? System. Okay. So in my system, what is the password? Naresh as of now. Okay. That Naresh I want to change now. So I'm writing like this. Alter. So first login like this. So whenever we are logging in, give the username as sysdba. Sys as sysdba. For this sys user, we are logging as the database administrator. For this sys user, don't enter any password. Just press enter key. Don't enter password. Don't enter any password. Just press enter key. Just press enter key. Just press enter key after typing username. Just press enter key. Don't enter any password. Okay. So username is sysdba. Don't enter any password. So now for changing password, which command we have to use? Alter. Alter user. What is the username? So which user's password we want to change? Which user's password we want to change? Database administrator. What is the database administrator name? System. System identified by give new password. I'm giving new password as Naresh IT. Okay, observe now. Listen. I'm opening SQL Plus now. I'm opening SQL Plus. Okay, username is system for all, but password I forgot. At the time of Oracle installation, I have given password, okay. But I forgot that password now. This is a problem for us. Okay, if you forget the password, you cannot create another user. Okay, you cannot do many tasks here. So at that time, what we have to do is we have to change the password. So to change the password of the system user, we have to log in as sysdpa. What is the username we are giving? Sys as sysdpa. Sys is the username. He is logging as the database administrator. Then don't enter any password here. Then press enter key. What it is displaying? Connected. Who is the current user? Just observe here. Who is the current user? Sys. Sys is another user. System is another user. Both are different. Sys is one user. System is another user. Both are different. Okay. So for system user, we want to change the password. So right here, alter user. Username is what? System. Okay. Identified by password. New password I'm giving as Naresh IT. Previously password was Naresh. Okay, now the new password is Naresh IT. Okay, my request to you all is, actually our class timings are 9 to 10:30, but because of some reasons I'm starting at 9:30. Because you have to have breakfast and you have to come here. Okay, and sometimes you may wait for lift. So that's why I'm starting at 9:30. Actually, our class timings are 9 to 10:30. But I'm starting the session at 9:30. Please, all of you be here before 9:30. At exact 9:30, I start the session. Please don't come late. Okay, so one session is related to another. If you don't listen one session, you may not understand next session. So please don't come late. We're in the basics only. Please, all of you be here before 9:30. At exact 9:30, I start the session. Okay. See what it is telling here. User altered. Observe here. Alter user. What is the username we are giving? System. For database administrator, previously password was Naresh. We modified it as the Naresh IT. Okay, so just now, say password is modified. Modified or not? Observe here. SQL plus. I'm giving username as system. Just a minute. I'm giving username as system here. Password as Naresh. So Naresh was old password. Now it is giving error. Observe here. What it is telling? Invalid username or password because we changed it. Okay. So what is the username here? System. We changed as Naresh IT. Okay. Now connected. Observe. So with this, you can understand that database administrator's password changed. If you want to change database administrator's password, log in as sysdba. Don't enter any password. Then write this command. Identified by new password. That's it. If you want to change users, if you want to create the user or drop the user or change the password of user, log in as database administrator. Username system. Okay, password is at the time of installation you are giving it. That is your password. In my system, Naresh. So this is the way of creating user, and this is the way of dropping user. And in future, if you forget the password, to change the password, you can write like this. Okay. Now, see here. SQL is providing. What is SQL? Please confirm. It is a query language. SQL is a query language. Why we are using this query language? To write the queries. In the programming languages, what we write? Programs. In the query languages, what we write? Queries. So SQL is a query language. SQL is a query language. Okay, it is used to write the queries. So to write the queries, it is providing 5 sub languages to us. What are those? DDL, DML, DRL, DCL, and TCL. Okay, so DDL stands for data definition language, DRL stands for data retrieval language, DML stands for data manipulation language, DCL stands for data control language, TCL stands for transaction control language. So you are learning Oracle SQL means please remember all these 5, and every sub language is providing some commands. Remember all those commands. Okay, so DDL commands. What are the DDL commands? What is DDL? DDL stands for data definition language. It deals with metadata. It deals with metadata. Here we're telling what is the table name, what is the field name, what is the data type, field size. Those we are telling here. So what are the DDL commands? DDL commands are create, alter, drop, truncate, rename, flashback, purge. Total how many commands are there? Total how many commands are there? Total how many commands are there? 7 commands are there. Total 7 commands are the DDL commands. Among those, first command is what? Create command. So using this create command, we can create the database objects like tables. So using create command, we can create the database objects like tables. What are the examples of database objects? Like views, indexes, etc. So tables, views, indexes, sequences, synonyms. So all those are called database objects. So to create any database object, we use only one command, create. Syntax to create the table. Syntax to create the table. What is the syntax to create the table? Create table, table name. Table name. Then opening parenthesis, then field name, then field name, data type, field name, data type, field name, data type. Okay, and sometimes we may write constraint keyword, then we write constraint name, constraint type. Okay, this is called one column definition. Already we discussed it, just I'm reminding. See, this is a syntax. Create table, table name, opening parenthesis, field name, data type, constraint, constraint name, constraint type. This is called one column definition. Whenever I'm using column definition or field definition term means you can understand like field name, data type, constraint, constraint name, constraint type. In the further sessions, I use this terminology, field definition or column definition. Means you can understand like field name, data type, constraint, constraint name, constraint type. So like this, you can define any number of fields. This is defining one field. So like this, we are defining the second field here. Okay, third field here, fourth field here. Like this, we can define any number of fields. And finally, close the parenthesis, semicolon. This is the syntax we have to follow to create the table. So to create this table, we should have knowledge on data types. And specifying this constraint, constraint name, constraint type is optional, not compulsory. So from here to here, optional. Minimum one field name we have to give, one data type we have to give. And specifying constraint name, constraint type are optional, not compulsory. Okay. Already you know the data types, already we discussed, like number data type, varchar2, date data type, timestamp data type. Those are the data types. So in today's session, I am explaining examples on creating tables, but just we use field name, data type, these two only. We will not use constraint name, constraint type. Okay, in today's session, you are learning how to create the table, but because of we don't know the constraint types, we are not using constraint name, constraint type. Just field name, data type, field name, data type we use. Okay, so table we want to create now. Listen, examples on creating tables. And before this, you should know how to insert the records also. So there is one insert command is there. It is DML command. Insert is DML command. It is used to insert the records. It is used to insert the records into table. So to insert the records into table, we are using this insert command. So syntax to insert the records is insert into table name. Okay, insert into, after this give table name. After table name, sometimes we specify column list here based on our requirement. So in the parenthesis, we specify the column list. And specifying this column list is optional, not compulsory. So I'm using square braces here. So insert into table name, column list, values. Then in the parenthesis, give the value list here. Value list we are giving. So this syntax we must follow to insert the records. Okay, so just observe two syntaxes. One is creating table. Create table, table name, field name, data type, field name, data type. In today's session, we use this much only. Okay, later we discuss about constraint types, constraint name, etc. But as of now, we are creating tables with field name, data type, field name, data type. Create table, table name, opening parenthesis, field name, data type. We are learning. First, we installed Oracle, and after that, we created one user. In that user, we want to create the table now. So to create the table, we have to follow this syntax. Create table, table name, opening parenthesis, field name, data type, field name, data type. Like this, maximum you can create 1000 columns. For inserting records, we have to follow this syntax. Insert into table name. Sometimes we specify column list. Specifying this is optional. Then write values, value list. So after seeing one example, you will get 100% clarity on it. Listen. Examples on creating tables. First example. We want to create one table with the table name. Table name is student. What is the table name? Student. We want three fields now. First field is student ID, SID. Second field is SName, and third field is M1, marks of subject 1. With the three fields, we want to create the table. So to create the table first, and after that, we want to insert the data like this. 1001 is the student ID. So student name is Ramu. Marks are 67. 1002 Kiran. Okay, marks are 100. Like this, we want to insert the records. This is our requirement. We want to create student table with three columns. First column is SID, second column is SName, third column is M1. After that, we want to insert the records like this. This is our requirement. So listen carefully. So till now, we discussed many topics in our course. If you don't understand previous topics, no problem. But from now onwards, okay, every topic is very, very important. You have to understand. Okay, in the previous topics, even if you don't understand, leave it. If you didn't understand about installation, leave it. No problem. That is not our duty. That is database administrator's duty. No problem. But from now onwards, it is important. Listen. So we want to create the table with student name, SID, SName, M1 are the three columns. This data we want to insert. So to create the table, what are required? Table name is required. We know the table name. What is the table name here? Student. And next to what are required? Field names are required. Field name means column name. Column names also will know. Observe here. SID, SName, M1. These are the column names. And what we have to specify here? Data type. So which one is which data type we have to identify. Okay. So now just you tell me SID, which data type? Number data type. So number data type we are using. And how many digits we want? Maximum 4 digits. So what is the precision we are giving? 4. That's it. Very, very simple. It can accept maximum 4 digits. Okay. Means this can accept up to where? Up to 9,999. If you give 10,000, does it accept that value? No. In the 10,000, how many digits are there? 5 digits are there. This will not be accepted. It accepts maximum up to 9,999 only. So that's why we are giving precision as 4. Okay. Next, second field. Second field is which one? Okay, varchar 2. SName, variable length characters we want. So we are using varchar 2. You can give any size here. I'm giving size as 15. You can give 10, 15 or 20 according to your requirement. Next, M1. Which data type? 67, 58, 45 marks. Number data type. So assume that university is conducting maximum 100 marks paper. What is the precision we have to give? 3. Maximum up to 100 we want. So precision we are giving as 3. That's it. Now we know the table name. We know the field name. We know the data type. Can we create the table now? Yes. Now create the table. Okay. Now right here, create table, give the table name. What's the table name? Student. Student. Opening bracket. Okay. What is the first field here? SID. SID, which data type? Number data type. What is the precision? 4. Okay. So that one only we are writing here. SID, number data type. Okay. So precision we are giving as 4. SName. Second field is SName. Which data type? Varchar 2 data type. Size we are giving as 15. So varchar 2 of 15. Comma. Third field. Third field is what? M1. Which data type? Number data type. What is the precision? 3. So right here. M1. Number data type. Size we are giving as 3. That's it. Very, very simple. Okay. So observe here. This create is the DDL command. It is dealing with metadata, table name, metadata, field name, metadata, data type, metadata, field size, metadata. So DDL commands deal with the metadata. So this is the query for creating the student table. Very, very simple. Like this, how many columns we can create? Maximum 1000 columns we can create. Okay. So here, are we using constraints here? No. Without constraints concept, we are creating now. Observe. See here. Okay. Now observe, table is created. In this table, we want to insert the records. Once again, I'm writing that query. So we want to log in. Fresh, I'm opening. Open SQL plus. Open SQL plus here. Windows R. In the Windows R, we are typing SQL plus. What is our batch schema? Schema means user. C hash hash Oracle 9 a.m. C hash hash Oracle 9 a.m. What is the password? Naresh IT. Okay, you can type like this. Username / password. Okay, or otherwise username, enter password here, Naresh IT. It will not display those characters connected. See here, connected. So we want to create the table. To clear the screen, write CL space SCR. CL space SCR means it clears the screen. Screen is cleared. Okay, we want to create table with student name, SID, SNAME, M1 fields. What we have tried? Create table. What is the table name? Student. Opening bracket. First field, SID. Which data type? Number data type. Precision 4. Field size we are giving as 4. SNAME. Which data type? Varchar 2. Field size 15 we are giving. Next, third field M1. Which data type? Number data type. Okay, precision is 3. Maximum marks 100. So precision 3 we are giving. Bracket close, semicolon. Okay, and remember one point. SQL is not case sensitive language. You can write queries in uppercase or lowercase or mixed letters. No problem. See here, create table I typed in capital letters. So table name I typed in the small letters. Here N capital, remaining small I have given. No problem. Even if you write all capital letters, no problem. All small letters, no problem. Mixed letters, no problem. SQL is not case sensitive. Okay. Now table is created. Table name is what? Student. Student table is created. In this, how many fields are there? 3 fields are there. Now our requirement is we want to insert the records now. Inserting records. Inserting records into student table. So to insert the records, just observe the syntax first. What is the syntax here? See, insert into table name. Okay, if required, we specify column list, values, value list. Specifying this column list is optional, not compulsory. Now in this example, I am not using column list. When to use, we discuss. Now observe here. We want to insert the records now. Insert into, what is the table name? Student, values. Okay, so first student ID we are giving as 1001, Ramu 67. So 1001 Ramu 67 we are giving. One more record we want to insert. What we write? Insert into student values. Give the values as 1002, Kiran 100. But remember one point, string must be enclosed in the single quotes, not double quotes, single quotes. Okay. In C language or in Java, string you are giving in double quotes. But in our Oracle, in the Oracle SQL, we have to give string in the single quotes. Remember this. So that's why Ramu we are giving in the single quotes. 1001 number, we are not using single quotes. Ramu is string, so we are using single quotes. Okay. So like this. Next, Kiran 100 marks. Like this we are inserting. Observe here. What we are right? Insert. Please. Into table name, student. Values. Give the values here. 1001. Ramu, 67 marks. Okay, any values. For example, we are taking like this. What it is telling now, observe here. One row created. Okay. Yes, we have to use commit command to save the data. Okay. Next, insert into one more record. Insert into what is the table name? Student. Okay. Values. Give the values here. Okay. We are giving next value 1002. Name is Kiran, and marks we are giving as 100. Okay. So one row created. Two records are inserted. So to save this table data, which command we have to use? Commit. Commit means table data will be saved. Okay, saved successfully. Now we want to see this table data. To see this table data, we have to write like this. Select. Okay, so displaying student records. How can we display the student records? So what we have to write? Select. What are the column names? SID, SName, comma M1. From which table we are retrieving? Student table. Like this we have to write. So select is the DRL command. DRL command we are using now. So which columns you want to retrieve? That column list we are giving. From which table you want to retrieve? The table name we are giving. Or if you want to get all columns, simply you can write star. For our convenience purpose, we are writing star, but implicitly the star will be replaced with column names only. Both are equal. Here, what is star, sir? Star means what? Star means what? All columns. Star means all columns. For our convenience purpose, we are writing star here. Implicitly, this star will be replaced with SID, comma, SName, comma, M1. Star replaced with this column names. For our convenience purpose only, we are writing star. But implicitly, the star will be replaced with all column names. Oracle is replacing like this. So now observe here. Select SID, comma, SName, comma, M1. From which table we are retrieving? Student table. Observe here. It is displaying table data. Observe here. So to create tables like this only, we are using Oracle. That's it. Very, very simple. So now this is one table. What is this table name? Student. Here, what is SID here? One column. One column. What is SName here? Another column. What is M1 here? Another column. Total, how many columns are there? 3 columns are there. Okay, these columns can be also called as fields. Column can be also called as field, or you can say this as the attribute. Columns can be also called as fields or attributes. Okay, so here, what is this 1001 Ramu 67 here? Row. Okay, this row can be also called as the record. Student record. One student record. 1001 record. 1002 record. Okay, or you can say this as the entity instance. Entity instance. Okay, and columns can be also called as the properties. Columns can be also called as properties. Okay, rows can be also called as row, record, entity instance, or tuple. Tuple. This is the terminology we should know. So very, very simple. We created the table, we inserted the records. Is it clear? Now, see here, if we follow this way to insert the records, just now we have seen this one. If we follow this way, to insert 2 records, how many insert queries we are writing? 2. Like that, assume that 10 students are there. 10 students records we want to insert. Now, how many insert queries we need to write? 10 insert queries we have to write. It becomes lengthy for us. Every time insert into table name values, it becomes lengthy for us. So that's why we follow another way. We use parameter concept here. Inserting multiple records using parameters. We use parameter concept to insert the multiple records. Observe now, we write like this. Insert into table name. What is the table name? Student. Values. Give the values here. Instead of giving values, so previously how we have given like this 1003, okay, some name and marks. Okay, previously we have written like this. Now instead of writing like this, here write ampersand, any user understandable text you can type. Ampersand SID I'm giving. If you write like this, what it will ask you know? Enter value for SID. Whatever you type here, that will be displayed here. Remember, if you type A here, what it will display now? Enter value for A. Whatever you type here, that will be displayed here. If you write student ID like this, it will display student ID here. Student ID. Whatever you type there, that will be displayed here. Okay, it need not to be column name. Whatever you type there, that will be displayed. So simply, shortly, I'm typing SID here. So what it is asking, enter value for SID. So whenever we are writing this insert query, we are not giving the values. Later at runtime, we are giving the values. Okay. So now don't give value here. Use parameter. Ampersand sname. So sname is string or not? Yes. String means we have to specify in the single quotes. So if you write like this, it will display enter value for sname. Enter value for sname. Okay. Next, third one. Instead of giving value here, what we are writing? Ampersand M1. Ampersand M1. So at runtime, what it will ask now? Enter value for M1. Okay, so here at runtime, we are reading these values using the parameters. If you use parameter like this, at runtime, it will ask this value. At runtime, it will ask student name. At runtime, it will ask M1 value. Okay, for example, I am giving student ID as 3, student name as Charan. Okay, and marks as 55. So now it will display one row created. Implicitly, what happens here is, observe here, this SID value, what we are giving? 3. This ampersand SID will be replaced with 3. Okay, sname value, what we are giving? Charan. This ampersand sname will be replaced with Charan. Okay, ampersand M1 will be replaced with 55. Implicitly, this insert query, it writes based on those parameter values. Oracle writes the insert query again with these parameter values, and one row will be created. And one more important point here, student name is the string. So string must be enclosed in the single quotes. That's why here we are using single quotes. If you don't specify single quotes here, at the time of giving the value, here we have to give the single quotes. Okay, once again I'm repeating. Here student name is the string here. String must be enclosed in the single quotes. It's better to write in this insert query only, because every time we have no need to write single quotes. If you forget, whenever you're writing this insert query using parameters, if you forget to give this single quotes, at the time of giving the value, we must enclose that value in the single quotes. Is it clear? Next. Observe now. So after this, sir, one more record I want to insert. How, sir? Again, we need to write this query. No need to write. Just simply write slash here. We have no need to write, but implicitly Oracle writes this query. You can write slash or slash repeats above command. Okay, below I'm writing. Note. Slash means slash run, slash means slash, or you can write run also. Slash, or you can also write run. Okay, it runs recent command. It runs a recent command. So what is the recent command? Insert only. The command which is in the buffer, the command which is in the temporary memory, that will be run by this slash. It runs recent command. So because of it is running this recent command, again what you will ask, enter value for SID. Enter value for SID. I'm giving 4 here. Enter value for SName. I'm giving Sai here. Enter value for M1. I'm giving 78 here. That's it. I want to insert one more record. What we have to do now? Slash. Again, it is asking the values. That's it. This is the way of inserting multiple records. This is the way of inserting multiple records. That's it. Now I'm showing it practically. Just observe here. As of now, in the student table, how many records are there? 2 records are there. I'm clearing the screen. Observe. We want to insert the records using parameter concept. What we have to write? Insert into, what's the table name? Student. Sorry. I'm clearing the screen. Insert into student values. Okay, ampersand SID. This is called parameter. Comma. Okay, SName, ampersand SName. Because of string, we are enclosing in the single quotes. Comma M1. M1 number, don't use single quotes. That's it. Ampersand. Ampersand M1. Okay. So ampersand is there, means that understands like this is parameter. SID, SName, M1. 3 parameters. Now observe here what it is asking. Enter value for SID. SID value I'm giving as, for example, I'm giving as 1003. I'm giving. Okay, any. For example, I'm taking 1003. Enter value for SID 1003. I'm giving. Next SName. Okay, so SName I'm giving as Sai. Next M1. M1 value I'm giving as 66. Okay, observe carefully here. Oh, observe, we have given these values. Later it is displaying like this. Observe here, this is old one and this is what? New one. Okay, so this old query, we have given student ID as 1003. So at the place of this parameter, what it is substituting? This value. Okay, the Sai value that is substituting at this second parameter. 66 value that is substituting at third parameter. So that's why this value is becoming Sai, this value is becoming 66. So implicitly Oracle is writing this query. Oracle is submitting these parameter values in place of parameters. This is SID value. This is replaced at parameter 1. Okay, this is SName value replaced at second parameter. Okay, this is third parameter value replaced at third parameter. That's it. So implicitly Oracle is writing this insert query again with this parameter values like this. So later it is displaying what? One row created. Okay. Now we want to insert one more record. We have no need to write this insert query again. This simply what we have to type here? Slash. Okay, 1004. I'm giving name as Teja. Okay, M1 value 52 I'm giving. Observe here. Again, these values are substituted in place of parameters. One row created. You can use slash or you can also use run. You can use slash or you can also use run. Run means recent query it is running. What it is asking? Student ID. So student ID I'm giving as 1005. Okay, some name I'm giving and marks value I'm giving. Observe here, one row created. So you can use run command or also you can use slash. Slash is equivalent to run. It runs recent command which is in the memory. So whatever the recent query will be in the memory, that query it runs. So this is a way of inserting multiple records. Is it clear? Okay. So I'm stopping the session here. So because of less strength, it is enough. In the next session, I explain one more example on creating tables. After that, we discuss about to create the table. One more thing also we should know. What is that one? types. What are the constraint types are available? This part we discuss. Okay. Thank you everyone. See you tomorrow.